Okay, so what I've got here is another base wall, and what I want to do with this wall is create a ladder on the left portion of the wall so you can access the top of your container. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've hidden the top and bottom siding boards, and now what I want to do is create a new component that will later become the ladder. I'll call this the ladder component, and I will select OK. And now what I want to do is create a new sketch. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then I will project this geometry and this geometry here. And then I'll create a line between these 2 points, and then I'll use the midpoint here. I'll go about 12 inches out here and create my first circle here. This will be the plate that will mount the board or the ladder to the board here. So let's create one for each pipe here. So this will be like a steel pipe ladder. So here we have another circle, and then we'll go down and create 12 inches here, and the circle here, and I'll go out 15 inches here, and I'll go out 3 inches here, and now we can go on to extrude it. Okay, so now we'll extrude these mounting points. So I'll select the profiles here and up here, and I will extrude these by about 0.25 inches. So there we have our mounting points. So now we can use these to create our next sketch here. So the steel pipe is going to be 2 inches thick in diameter. So let's go and create those. Let's first create our geometry. So I'll project it, and then I'll start by making the circles. Here I have another one and the last one here. Okay, so let's extrude these profiles by 8 inches here, so they have some space between the rungs of the ladder and the actual wall. So I'll do 8 inches here, and I want these to be new bodies, so I'll make them new bodies. But before making the actual rungs and the main part of the ladder, I want to revolve and make a corner here out of the pipe. So to do that, I'm going to have to create a new axis. So I will project this geometry here, and then I'll make 2 lines going down here and 1 across. So that will be our axis. And then I'll do the same for down here. So I'll project these 2, and then I'll make 2 lines here, and then I'll connect them. So I'll finish the sketch. And before we use the revolve tool, let's hide the 4 mounting points here so we don't join them. And now I'll revolve here these 2 profiles across this axis. So I'll do 90 degrees, and then I'll do the same for the bottom half. So let me get that sketch back here, and I'll do the same. So I'll select these 2 profiles, and I'll select this axis. And there you go. So now we can extrude these profiles here to object, and we can select these profiles. So this time I will join so that we have the 2 pipes here. And now what we can do is create a tangent plane here on the circle. And since this is at 0 degrees, we do not need to turn it, so that will be fine. Okay, so now what we can do is we can create the rungs of the ladder. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we can go ahead and create the rungs of the ladder. So before doing that, let me just hide this body here so that we can see our plane clearly. So what I'll do is I'll create a new sketch on this plane here, and I'll start out by creating some rungs. So what I'll do here is I'll select a 2-point circle, and I'll start actually by projecting this geometry here, and I'll select a 2-point circle, and I'll make the rungs the same diameter as the pipe itself, so 2 inches. And there we have our first rung. So I'll go down and project this geometry here, and what we can do now is we can create a rectangular pattern here, select this object, and we can go this direction here, and make sure you have extent selected. So I'll have extent selected, and I'll go down to right there. So let's just see how many rungs we're gonna want. So maybe not 35, maybe let's go with 20, or how about 15? So 15 looks good, so I'll do 15. And what I'll do is I'll finish the sketch, and then I'll select these profiles here. So we can extrude these profiles, and then we can get our rungs. And then I'll extrude. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to unhide this body here, and I'll go 2 sides. So in this side I'll go with the 2 object, oh sorry, not that side, side's distant. I'll do 2 object here. So, oh my bad, there we go. Okay, so I'll select this right here, and we can join this actually, because I do not want to have individual rungs, so I will just join them. And then for the other distance, I'll just go in about 1 inch halfway through the pipe, and then I will join for both of these. So I will select OK, and there we have our ladder. We can unhide our mounting brackets, and now we can start to change the appearance. So I will go ahead and change the appearance. So what I want to do with this is I want to go with a sort of stainless steel like ladder. So I'll do, let's see how brushed linear looks like. So I'll select, and this looks good. So let's just give it to the mounting brackets as well. There and there. And there we have our ladder. So let's just activate the whole wall again. And this will give easy access to the top of the container. So if maybe you want to create a patio or some sort of deck up on the roof, you can access it via the ladder. Okay, so now we can go on to create a window wall.